I literally just looked at a note and I just was like, what? All right, so this is real.
This is real. A Reuters investigation reveals...
Reuters,
sorry. Every living president is a descendant of slaveholders except Trump.
Really?
Yes. So including...
This is like a real story. Like,
yeah,
this is not...
This is Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and even Obama through his white mom's side.
His white mom's side. That's
all
where the evil
descendants
lies.
of slave owners.
All descendants of slave owners
Yep.
except for Donald Trump. Is that because of the immigration?
It's because they came after. So, yeah.
He should be your favorite president then.
Yes.
All of...
That is hilarious.
Every living president is a descendant of slave owners. You know what he's going to do? Somebody's going to run this over to Donald Trump, and he's going to use it on the campaign trail. He's like, your parents owned slaves to Joe Biden or somebody like that. It's just going to be his new thing. He's going to be like, I'm the only one who didn't have a slave in my descendants. Okay, or a descendant of slave owner. All right, let's take a quick chat before these guys come back in the studio all by myself. It's scary.
All right.
All by yourself.
Question for the crew.
I just meant, you know. Yeah. That's
Josh
okay.
had tinkle.
It happened. It's what I was just saying. I go, I'm in here all by myself, and Tim cuts to the long shot of them, and he goes, yes, all by yourself. All right, give me a chat, real quick.
Yeah, from A.O. Bray, question for the crew. How did you become so knowledgeable in the world of politics, history, etc. prior to it becoming your career? Do you have any book recommendations for that?
Gosh, there is no one book that will catch you up. There's quite a bit of information. How did you get into...
You say knowledgeable?
Yeah, how did you get into, like, the political side of things? Because I know you didn't necessarily start there. You were conservative, but then you kind of started going into that.
You know, in my case, well, first off, I appreciate you saying knowledgeable. I never consider myself to be extremely knowledgeable. I do consider myself someone who likes to learn, and I seek knowledge. Just to be clear, I'm not an expert. That's why nothing bothers me more than when someone doesn't provide references for you, whether it's CNN or any of the other programs out there on the left or right. To me, that signals that they think they've arrived, and I never feel that way. And that's why I always try and make these available to you so that you can hold us accountable and we can all continue to learn. I never feel as though you reach a certain point where you would be an expert. But this is what we do full time.
Yeah.
So I would say I always took an interest in it, as far as if that's the perception that I'm knowledgeable. I have certain areas that I know pretty well. And then in doing stand-up, I wasn't overtly political, but I would get in trouble for political opinions.
Yeah.
Get banned for doing a joke about Muhammad, I think, like in 2005 or 2000. No, it would have been 2007, I guess, from some college. And then, oh, wait, hold on a second. Then getting dropped by a manager because of opinions that I had.
Yeah.
And I never really thought that these would get me completely removed from the table. And then after that, it was, well, no, I have to express my opinions more. And so then I went on more of a quest to undergird them because I knew that it would be something that would create a target. So I always say, like, a conservative is just a liberal who's gotten beaten up by life. And every day I'm trying to learn. And I do find it sometimes harder where my retention isn't as good because there's so much coming in as this company grows. And that's something that is definitely a challenge. I don't believe that anyone actually has a photographic memory. I don't think it's a thing, or audiographic memory, I've heard. But for some reason, the way that my brain works, if there's something that changes a dynamic or something that is a significant turning point or an aha moment, I remember it almost exactly, verbatim. That's why I'm able to retrieve some very specific examples, numbers, or historical events, and then others, it's very hard for me to remember, for example, a name. It's just sort of something I've had to develop these coping mechanisms, so maybe it appears that I'm more knowledgeable than I am, but we're steeped in it every day.
Yeah, exactly. I think, just thinking back, I think it was Obama that made me more political, because I actually at the time I would pay attention to kind of what was going on, but I didn't really put a lot of time and effort into it. And when he became president, I thought, okay, maybe this kind of goes to furthering the healing of race relations, because they hadn't been terrible up to that point, because, like we talked about, we grew up in the 90s when it really seemed like it was going away.
The biggest biggest television stars, the biggest film stars, and the biggest musical artists were all black. And all of them
nobody
were largely black.
It was wonderful. Like, it didn't matter if they were black or they were white. If you were black or you were white, you loved the art.
Right.
And you grew up with that. And I was like, the Huxtables was one of my favorite shows, watching, them. It was just fantastic. So
they didn't ruin it with all the rape.
Well, yes, that's true, but that was 30 years later, so we didn't find out about it until later. He was doing it then.
Yeah.
But no, it was when he became president, and then it was the clearest example I've ever seen in my life of bad policy.
Yeah.
was going from the healthcare that I had, which was literally $90 per month for like a $5,000 HSA account, so I'd have to pay $5,000. I'd saved up all money. I had $110,000 back surgery, unnecessary.
You used to have Affleck.
Yeah, I had Affleck at the same time, and everything was paid for out of that. I had nothing out of pocket. I was like, this is how it should work.
Right.
You go, you pay cash. This is fantastic. You know, if you end up having something big, you meet your minimum, and then it went after the American healthcare. What was it? The Obamacare? Affordable care. It went up to like $200, and I was like, well, that sucks, but I can still afford that.
Right.
And then it went up to like $400 a month, and I'm like, oh, hold on, this is getting crazy now. And then the plan just literally disappeared. They're like, if you want the same plan, it's now a $10,000.
And that's a perfect example
of like, what?
Of the pandering from the left, right? You see a consistent pattern. The super elites, being the people with health insurance companies, right, was the greatest kickback they've ever received. Made a killing. And then people who are at the absolute bottom, for example, people who are on welfare, people who have not worked, let's say, for 10 years, they benefit to a degree. Everyone in between, from the lower middle class to upper middle class, got screwed.
Yeah.
That category always gets screwed. From the left, you always have elites, they still do well. And then the ultra poor, right, they get some handouts. At least with Donald Trump, like the average salary for middle class Americans went up in a way that we had not seen in a very long time. Sure, the people with an extreme amount of wealth gained more wealth, but you're never going to stop that short of just stealing their stuff. The issue is not inequality, the issue is poverty, right? The issue is standard of living for everybody. And you see consistently with the left, there's a two-tiered system. People at the top, and then people at the bottom get enough so they can continue living with enough comfort at the bottom, and you can buy their votes. And then everyone in between, those are the people who get angry. And that's a very, very different vote. I became more political, though, with George W. Bush, because I lived in Canada and everything. And I probably liked him at the time more than I do now, more than I would now, just because it was the most common trope. But George W. Bush is an idiot. America sucks. You have a dumb cowboy as a president. So I felt compelled to defend the country.
Yeah.
Because we had silly. I mean, look at Canada. For crying out loud. It's like you have no leg to stand on.
And in case of Molly the dog, 4 legs.
Yes, exactly, 4 legs. Until that woke
Muslim
woman took her out.
I want to see the results. I want to see how many votes Molly got. I guarantee you some people voted for Molly just out of protest.
People voted for my dog back in the day, God rest his soul, Hopper and Dean Cain, because we did that whole campaign.
You did a write-in.
An active campaign, yeah. Dean Cain was the running mate. We used to do these attack ads from Big Squirrel against my dog.
Oh, that's great.
And Dean Cain, he actually cut in a suit, like these vice presidential ads. He's like, these attacks, these outrageous and false attacks against my running mate, Hopper, need to be condemned outright. I have watched him sit like a good boy. I have watched him. It was like we had like American flag waving. It was Dean Cain and Hopper for a better America.
The voiceover.
And then we have a big squirrel attack. We're like, Hopper? What's he trying to hide? And then we made this story that he was leading an underground dogfighting ring. But he was an
Asian squirrel.
It was a Photoshop of Michael Vick with so he wasn't fighting. He was making other dogs fight.
Yeah,
he's really silly, but
got chains on, maybe.
But when you have 16 minutes per hour to fill, right? We had this when it was a 3-hour radio show on Friday mornings back then. You go, well, we have an election. What do we do? Let's continue with this arc. I don't know, Tranny Bain. I don't know, Jihadi Bond. So we had all of these recurring characters because it made it easier to just go, all right, let's fit this in here. I've got 16 minutes to fill. I don't want them to hear about Ypsilanti Ford.
It's always Ypsilanti.
I don't know. It's just a fun name to say. Schenectady's a fun one too. Sure. And Josh, you're not you're not like a super political guy.
No, not really. I don't understand it. I don't get into it. It's a lot more for me.
But you're a reasonable guy.
I'm reasonable. I think I'm reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have strong opinions about stuff like
smoking drywall.
Yeah, no smoking drywall with your penis out in front of kids. And,
you're pro.
Yeah,
you're pro.
Very much. Yes. Changed my mind.
Yes. I'm pro drywall penis.
Ew.
That's a cool glory hole.
Yeah.
No.
It's really easy. The glory. It's just like you put a hole in drywall. It doesn't require anything.
What a hole.
It's pretty easy.
You just look at.
Hey, Claiborne.
We'll take some more chats, but I don't think have you ever played with this newest gender pronoun?
I have not.
Oh,
He's gonna love it.
It's a fun game. So this is the latest. This we started back actually. Spot the tranny, newest gender pronoun. I believe those were our first games.
Spot the tranny's hard on radio.
Yes.
Are you using audio clips? Hey, boy.
Well, no, but we would kind of, people would describe it, right? The theater of the mind. Okay. Except I didn't realize Nick DiPaolo has a relative who's transgender.
Oh, yeah.
And so he used to be at the show a lot back then, just calling Skype. And you never think anything's going to offend Nick DiPaolo, or it's like a third rail. And so he said, okay, and the bump music is coming in. And stay tuned. When we come back, we will play Spot the Tranny with our guest. And as it's going out, you hear Nick go, wait, you mean like transgender? And then just, and then Frankie's like, I got to I wish I don't want to. All right, fine, let's do it.
He's like, I hope they don't see.
And it was the one where we did the Bob Ross painting Muhammad. I don't know if it was that video. And I get a call. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so we create the thumbnail, right? It's me as Bob Ross and the Muhammad painting, and then there's Nick DiPaolo and like the elements of the show. Get a call from him driving. This is when I had a crappy car and Bluetooth. So it was a whole effort, whole dog and pony show for me to answer the phone. Like, no. Then another call from Nick DiPaolo. And then he hung up the second call just so we could call a third time. And I pick up like, hello? Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you putting my face next to your picture of Muhammad? They're going to come and get... I don't have security. Am I going to hide behind my basketball hoop? Take it down!
Did they come for him?
No, they didn't. It was just his face was right next to Bob Ross painting Muhammad.
Look at this image.
Oh, that's great. And his face was right next to him. And I was like, I'm sorry. I think we changed that thumbnail so it's like he's fake. And you know what? I asked for this kind of heat, but you didn't.
The lawyer's response was,
Yeah, we got to sue
the estate.
Which people later found out the Bob Ross family hates.
Yeah.
Oh.
They do.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
That's what we said. Instead, we decided to paint them in excrement.
Eating corn and
Just eating excrement alongside the law. Because they said it was a violation of Islamic law, and you cannot tarnish the reputation of the Bob Ross estate. So we responded on air.
as Bob Ross.
Oh, I don't think you recognize Islamic law here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, out of luck.
Yeah, where's that in the Constitution?
Better take me to Sharia court. By the way, you're probably gay, so I don't think you're going to like how this ends up for you, aren't you?
Stay away from tall buildings.
Speaking of which, let's play newest gender pronouns.
Not bad.
Do we have letting us know if it's
Yes.
okay. All right. So explain the game for people who have not played it. We can play along in chat.
Still hazy here.
Telling us their preferred pronouns.
Really haven't seen much sun since Sunday.
So you tell us the gender, and then what they use their
Just listening to our Mug Club.
Now they're gonna dance and
Oh.
take a look at them and
Oh, okay,
from
that's right.
three options,
Before they
they're
do the
gonna
review.
guess.
Because it's really hard. There are so many pronouns.
Heading into work.
We'll
We'll try and do desktop stream too, but we'll see.
It's okay, but it's not okay. But it's okay. It's not okay.
I mean, I'm going to win.
Yeah, I think so.
Just a quick 40-minute drive left.
It's not who gets the most points. It's who counts the points.
Oh, man. True.
All right. First one. Newest gender pronouns.
All right, first.
Okay.
This person identifies as.
A, he, him. B, she, her. Or C, they, them.
It seems, this game has come a long way. That's
Wait, this is guess the
positively
pronouns.
bland.
It's not newest gender pronouns. Is it newest gender or guess?
We've been playing.
Yes, yes. He, him, she. What do you think, there, Joe?
You too, bud.
That's a dude.
Yeah.
I think it's he, him.
You think it's he, him? What do you think there, Josh?
I think it's a she, her. She, her. Look at that haircut.
It's so
sweater.
boring,
Well,
Josh.
it's obviously she, her. That would be the reasonable answer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a reasonable guy.
Yeah. Josh, I'm sure. Come on. I can stack the deck in your favor, but I can't give it to you. You got to put a little effort in. I'm going to go with C, they, them, just because I feel good throwing us for a loop. All right, drum roll. What do we got? Oh, well, here's the thing. The problem is the rules. But the rules are if you get the first question right, actually the person to your right in counterclockwise gets your points. So that's 2 points.
Take that, Greg.
Yeah. 2 points. You was dying.
That would explain things.
Yeah, that's a hostage asking for help.
They definitely drank some hooch. That's for sure.
It's like, hey, can you give us a little bit of a hint? That's them doing the Carlton.
That's the Hoochie Mama.
All right, what do you
Hoochie short for hoochie.
What do you think?
Dude, you gonna go or not?
I think that's a swamp monster from the Chattahoochee River. That's hooch. That's hooch.
That's imagine that Jimmy Wade.
Good stuff.
Today, I'm hunting the most horrifying sight I've yet to lay eyes upon.
The lazy dancing.
Truly the stuff of nightmares.
Terrifying.
That was my show for a while. I watched it until I realized. Did you ever watch River Monsters?
No.
So it was
They
like
never found the monster.
Gregory.
But it's like it was always some giant catfish,
Yeah.
or like a crocodile, and then a bull shark, and occasionally there would be something interesting. So he would go into rivers, fresh water, and the idea was going into these fresh bodies of water and finding these, these man-eaters, right? Because you think you're safe because it's fresh water. Yeah. And then the last season was him in the ocean.
With man-eaters.
We already know that the ocean, there are plenty of things that can kill us in the ocean. The whole interest was I'm going, hey, if I go into the lake, there's something there that can get me too. Now we're going to the depths of the ocean to see if there truly are sharks. It's the same show? This is River Monsters?
You know that rivers and oceans are different.
Yeah. The last one is Secrets of the Deep. That's like the secret is there's a shark in there.
Let's go down there.
Exactly.
Let's go down there. Place that. That was a company that did it for us.
So you said hooch?
I said hooch.
What do you say, Gerald? I'm going he, him again. This one's...
I'm going to go hooch just because, Josh is leading, and I think I'm going to follow his lead.
The answer
This
is
person doesn't have the creativity for this. No, whatever.
What?
It's another thing then?
Almost. Oh,
Jesus, stop bouncing that.
Gosh.
Also the most comfy.
What does that even mean?
These pronouns are comfy.
yes. That's
These
what
pronouns
they're
are
saying.
comfy.
That's what these
These
things
two.
they're saying.
Well, that's also
This person uses these the most, and I'm like, okay, so you don't even play by your own rules.
I use them when I want to screw with people.
It's like, now, excuse me, they, them.
But someone's being a dick in a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm a they them.
Yeah, that's what I'm they them.
Protesting.
Well, it's like we just had a they them who looked like a girl, and now we have a they them.
Like a furry.
Yeah, it was a furry. What does they them mean? That's the problem, right? There's no basis in reality, but it's fun. Let's go to another pronoun.
Multiple personalities.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
We do a Walther ad. Sorry.
Moon's pronouns.
Yes.
These are all pretty normal pronouns. What the hell? Other
He,
than
him, she, her, they, them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are just standard pronouns. But I mean, this one, I don't know. I mean, obviously it looks like a girl, but I feel like you guys are trying to trick
mask.
me.
I feel like I'm getting tricked too.
Yeah.
But I've been faithful to the B.
Yeah, you have. And it has served you well.
It has. I'm winning.
Your curiosity of me has served you well, my friend. You are to be rewarded with a smooth little...
Is this person's name?
Do you really have vanilla code?
No, would you remember those commercials?
Jesus,
No. I
fucking
want to
Right,
say
Tom and Terry. Your
I
curiosity.
saw a video that President Belarus fed him carrots.
Yeah, that's not new.
Ew.
No, it's not. It's old, but I just couldn't believe how big he was.
He also gave him a giant block of salt lick. I am above the salt.
Strong day you think of, yeah. It's just like, wow, he's a house now. That guy's big.
So Josh says B, which still is B, they, them, or she, her?
She, her.
What do you say, Gerald?
I'm sticking with he, him.
I'm going to go with he, him, too, just because I feel bad for you. I think you're losing by a wide margin.
I would lose either way. You won't give me points.
So I'm going to go down with the Greg ship. All right, what is the answer? Come on!
Yeah, baby.
Say she, her.
Yeah.
Josh just can't, he can't miss.
Oh, hold on. This person's an idiot.
Why?
She didn't say she, her. She said she, hers.
Yeah, I think
Go back to that.
that's probably us.
No, that was her video.
Oh, really?
Her video.
Well, she doesn't look like English is her first language.
They said she, her, she, her.
At the top, I forgot it. I'm an idiot.
Well, she could have been grammatically correct as well. Just identifies. I don't know.
I didn't see the top because it was like in the graphic.
All right, we have one left. One left. Okay, this is for all the marbles. very pedestrian, so I'm hoping this is a bone cat.
They, them, because I don't think we have the creativity right now to pick bone cats.
Yes, I know.
That's really hard because they either have a boner or they have a kitty cat.
Yeah,
Or both.
or both.
Yeah.
Which is when it becomes really problematic. What am I gonna do? I got a boner.
Hey, I lived a very good life. I've got all the genitals.
Yeah, hey, I got a boner.
Yeah, I know, Blind Justice.
Gotta go.
What do I need a gun for?
Don't shoot the cat.
Don't tell me what to do. I don't know. I'm hoping.
Hey, Conk.
Did you say this?
Yeah, no, bone cat. Bone
Let's
cat.
go bone cat, just because I really hope.
That's a different
It's a different. Oh wait,
He, him? Most of
Says, Honey, I Shrunk the G.I. Jane. It's huge. Later in the show. This is what you can expect. All right, so Josh wins with all the points, and Jill gets none, and I was kind of right in the middle, but I am a benevolent dictator of gamesmanship. This has been. Is it guess the pronouns or newest gender
the
pronouns?
singer's newest, so we'll go with that.
Call it newest gender pronoun.
All right, stick around. Hold on, wait, everyone. I'm seeing him. They're interviewing the ghost.
Hey, Dirty Dog.
She just appeared among the books.
Oh, jeez.
Like a ghost. Hey, like a ghost.
I loved her in Harry Potter as Draco's mom.
Yes. Mrs. Malfoy.
Mrs. Malfoy. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Well, we can take some more chat. Was there anything that they were going to be getting us that we? I'm trying to think. Was there anything we asked for aside from the Jerry Lewis clip, which is still fun?
I've seen them in other people's
Everything else
chats.
about the Supreme Court stuff is just boring AF.
It's just about gerrymandering. And
Yeah, it's the gerrymandering stuff, and Obama tweeted out that the Supreme. You can do it, but you don't have the quote. Supreme.
Well, you
Busy. Pretty good storm on Sunday. We had a nice storm on Sunday night.
It's the density argument you're going with that one.
Very dense. 4 weeks supply.
4 weeks of food. I mean, for me, it's more like.
Well, for some people, it's 4
So
weeks.
Obama tweeted out. All right. Now, just because I tweeted, don't get all wee-weed up.
Not all we
The Supreme Court now rejected the fringe independent state legislature theory that threatened. I can't read straight.
to upend.
To upend.
Tuppend.
Thank you. To upend our democracy. And my wife does not have a cock.
Everything that guy just says.
Or at least she. Now, there's nothing funny. Or at least she hasn't used it in a very long time. Okay.
Now, do me a favor. Can you read that as Al Sharpton for us, please?
Oh, sure. All right. Actually, you know what? It might not be bad if you bring it up on the small monitor for realism's sake. If you bring the overlay back up.
Bring the overlay back up. There we go.
Today, Tehran Supreme Court rejected the fringy independent state legislature theory that threatened to open our democracy and dismantle our system of checks and balances.
Give that man a show.
Bay Lances sounds like a town in Louisiana or something.
Democracy.
You ever seen the reel of Sharpton on prompter?
Oh no!
Oh my! We've had it on this show. I'm sure they can pull it for us. Yeah, you guys can pull us the reel from a previous show. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, guys. But it's always fun, right, Chad? You always want to see it again.
No, I just want you to read more stuff in Sharpton. I love it. He's so bad.
He has to read the Bible, doesn't he? He's a reverend or was?
Well,
That is what I tell people.
they give those titles out liberally
Yes.
in the community.
Who was the one when he was back when he was still fat, Al Sharpton? He got smacked on some kind of talk show. Remember that? He got smacked out of his chair.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You guys know? I'm sure they can pull that. He gets shoved or smacked out of his chair. And this is back when he was really chubby, young Al Sharpton.
So it's extra funny.
It is. It's extra funny.
Fat guys being slapped is fun. Or
Well,
falling and,
Al Sharpton getting pushed is funny. It's just, he had it coming. Because he still has it coming.
race heckling thug, which I guess is code for racism.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as racist as Al Sharpton.
It's fair.
All right, let's grab some chats while they get that for us because it's always fun.
Where'd he go?
Uh-oh, I think someone took a nap. I think someone's taking a
All right.
No.
From Jen Diesel, question for the crew. What are y'all's favorite kind of pizza? Josh looks like a deep dish kind of guy.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you know what?
What? Josh,
No.
sorry.
I mean, honestly, people give it a bad... There's nothing wrong with deep dish.
That guy nailed it, or girl.
I think New York style pizza is a little overrated. It's not like true Italian wood oven style pizza and sort of that thin crust, and it's not deep. It's in between. It's okay. It's just not my favorite. And Montreal style pizza is similar. It's a little more doughy, which I kind of like. I don't know. I don't really eat a lot of pizza, but I didn't mind deep dish. Everyone gave it a bunch of. It became cool to hate deep dish.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I think it's just like the New York pizza's the cool. I don't know. Or it's not real pizza. It's a pie. And,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it is. But
It's kind of fun though. You have to kind of cut through it. I mean,
it's got a nice crust. I love it. I always consider moving to Chicago after eating Joe Bauer's just because
I
of
love
the
that.
hiring site in the window.
Wow, that was with a shot very quickly.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think they do there. It's part of the salutation.
Hello, I'm in the kitchen.
So I think we all like different kinds of pizza. Let's go to another chat.
I like all pizza.
Question for Josh from T. Diddy. What's the most awkward way you've been thanked for your service? Also, thank you for your service.
Oh, well, that was nice.
Oh, thanks, T. Dids. The most awkward way I've been thanked for my service. Well, there was this girl at Hooters in Arlington. Back in 2000.
That was a girl.
Sorry, folks. I don't know. Probably today. Earlier.
Yeah. He spiked. Thank you.
I will say this. I do know. This is the most awkward. It's after a comedy show, after a stand-up show, and I'm selling shirts and doing a meet and greet or whatever. And somebody comes by, and they go, "Hey, great show. Hey, great set. Loved you. Very funny." And the next person comes up and they go, "Hey, thank you for your service." And then they
Oh, yeah.
you're like, "Oh, you didn't like the show. You just
Yeah, that's not
very
what I was
funny.
doing tonight.
yeah."
I wasn't clearing the comedy club. I had but there was actually back when we were at, I was for a long time, this is before I was at a kind of CRT or something, it merged and purchased the place. Before that, the place was a separate club, and I was there for a few weeks. And there was a guy, I think he's on Fox News now, Lawrence Luck.
Oh, yeah.
He does very well there. And he was on a panel, and he was very friendly about it. But there was a guy in the audience who said, "Hey man, I love what you said in the show." I said, "Thank you." He said, "It's just really nice to see a black man telling the truth for once."
Jesus.
And he was like, "Thank you."
Gosh.
Yeah. And he was, at this point, Barack Obama was president, so he was trying to say that Barack Obama's a liar, but he said it in an incredibly racist way.
Yeah.
Which I think is the best way to say it.
It's true.
All right. Let's grab another chat, and I see you give me a thumbs up.
We got both the Sharpton clips.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, then you know what? Let's before we go to the chat, what do you guys all want? Chat, you all want to see Al Sharpton getting smacked, right? That's the first one. So then you don't feel bad laughing at his inability to read prompter. I don't know if he gets
It's not
slapped.
because of the smack, though. Let's be
He
clear.
gets pushed. He gets pushed, and he goes. If I remember correctly, that goes over a chair. Right.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah. So make sure make sure you show the lead up because he obviously said something to really piss somebody off. But it's the guy.
He went black.
All right, here we go. I can't believe you guys haven't seen this.
Yes. With him on the other
Wow.
side. Jesus. He's like, brother, you want your job? I see you, bitch.
The funniest part is like he clearly has no read on body language at all. Like, the guy's getting up, his body reads, "I'm about to shove him." Nobody gets. He's so surprised. Like, what?
He doesn't get up that fast.
That suit's holding on for dear
I
life.
know. Let's play it again. Again, watch for the surprise. Like there's no element of surprise.
420?
Yet he's the only man in the room surprised.
He also gets more comfortable. He's very comfortable.
280 turns into 420. It's funny. Say that.
Why does this always happen to me?
Just coming back at the one button, his button is tied from the
He's like a character of a fat man. If I drew that, you'd be like, nah, man, slim it down a little bit.
Is that one of the clubs?
He lost an entire person over there.
But it's okay because the guy who pushed him was darker.
Ah, yes. No, brother! No, brother!
Well, he meant what he was saying.
Yeah.
No, he meant it. I love that passion. Just like
I want to know what they were talking about now. Now I want to know what the subject was. Was it New York style pizza versus Chicago deep dish or what? I need to know.
I came to read a property.
Hello. Audio's gone.
Vacation.
Local sucks. You gotta close the app. If you take a phone call, reopen it.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself by suicide. Other than all of the evidence that it's physically impossible for Jeffrey Epstein to have killed
It's the
himself.
same FBI that knew for a fact that Hunter Biden's account was real, while they were demanding that Facebook take it down and say that's not real. Are you starting to get the picture?
Unbelievable.
why are they bringing this up? What are they gonna, what's tomorrow's article going to be to distract us? Like, oh my gosh, Japan bombs Pearl Harbor. What?
Yeah. They're trying to restore your faith in the institution. They're trying to go, no, the FBI, everything the FBI said about Jeffrey Epstein was correct. And by the way, I'm not saying that it's a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles, but when you think about it,
Well, accident
not a
there,
single
huh?
policy accidentally would help sex slaves. Like open border, well, that's bad for people who are being, for kids who are being trafficked. Right? Think about that. Hold on a second. When you talk about people like Hunter Biden, like who's being trafficked to him, Jeffrey Epstein, just accidentally you think you.
Talk to you later, Claiborne. Hey, Chopper.
Sex slave. No, it's a marvel.
None of the names of the people that were visiting Sex Island for kids?
Yeah.
None of the names? Really?
No.
Weird. None of the cameras worked. He was on suicide watch too, huh? You mean the guards actually took a break, the cameras didn't work, and then he killed himself in a physically impossible to kill yourself kind of way?
Yeah.
Okay. Open and shut, I guess.
I guess he's really handy with tying bed sheets.
He really is. He had some extra time.
We all have our skills. Right. Let's grab one more chat, and then we will we'll watch the Al Sharpton. It's always fun for me. It's like with your kids, you get to experience things for the first time. I get to live vicariously from Josh.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
It's every bit as bad as you would think it is. All right, chat.
All right, Ms. Rice, what do you think of the resurgence of conservative views in young people right now? And was the best way to harness this?
I don't know if statistically young people lean conservative. I know that with millennials, older millennials, right? That's what they're trying to say. Millennials are not turning as conservative as baby boomers did as they aged. But that's not true. If you look at sort of my demographic, all of us towards the upper end of millennials at this point, no, they are leaning conservative. I don't really know with Gen Z. I don't know how much of it is warped by the LGBTQ movement. 7% identify that way. But if there is a pendulum swing with everyone else going, this is ridiculous, I haven't seen enough data to suggest that Gen Z people are very conservative. But I'm assuming that you're not including people who can't vote. So I don't necessarily know that I agree with the premise, but I do think that with millennials, that's important. That is important. And I think that a component of that is recognizing the fundamental change in the economy. In other words, you can't just cater to a generation of people right at this point who are either on or getting on Social Security, or people who worked in a generation where if you worked a job consistently for a certain amount of time, you got a pension, right? And that was kind of the American dream. And millennials certainly have experienced more of the gig economy, which in a lot of ways I think is better. It offers more flexibility, but it's a different economic environment, and so that is something that needs to be addressed. Not in the way Bernie Sanders wouldn't say we need to give out free stuff, but sort of laying out a vision for people of America and being more productive and being wealthier and having more choice. And I think that is a a very real direction America can take, but unfortunately a lot of it is, with the primaries, it's all, he wants to get rid of Social Security, and someone will be like, no, Social Security, and then someone will say, no, I don't want to do it, you want to do it. And I understand you've paid into it, but you're welcome. So we also do need to acknowledge the fundamental change in the economic environment, because young people feel as though they're not being addressed. And so that's a winning argument without having to pander and say, yes, you are pansexual.
That's true. I think that, like, you're going to pander. It's probably the right word, but what I really
You'll light them up.
I'm going to address the people that are going to actually show up and vote. That's the hard part of all of it.
You don't need my permission.
Campaign to the 20-somethings, but they're not actually going to the polls. Not in any great number. They're just not. Data doesn't support it. They've tried to for years. They get more energized when a candidate like Bernie Sanders comes along in primaries and stuff like that, but they just don't actually go out and vote in large enough numbers to really cater to their issues. But it'd be great if somebody would address those issues. Right. Because as a younger person, the only party that seems to be going after them with any consistent Democrats, but they're doing it in a way of Santa Claus. They're just giving you all this free stuff and saying, hey, we'll make your lives better by giving you free stuff, so vote for us later on. Right. They're playing the long game, and we're not doing a very good job of that. We're saying, okay, who's going to go to the polls this time? Let's just talk to them. It's like, well, what about next time? Right. Like, so we want to actually get those guys when they do go and vote eventually, because they do. It just takes a little while.
Yeah. And I think that there's some mixed messaging coming from people on the right, in the sense that was there a recent legislature that limited work from home to 8 hours a week? I think it was a Republican-controlled legislature. I don't know if someone could
Really?
bring it up. Yeah. Or it was proposed. I don't know if it passed. But I do know that there, and by the way, there are legitimate complaints from business owners who say, well, hold on, work from home is really disrupting the workplace. But I also think that the left is very good at making an argument of, you can't afford a house anymore. Let's compare what the average housing price would be. The thing is, if you look at the average housing price compared to what your parents would get, it was a house that was a third of the size, and not everyone lived in these big cities. Now, if you can't work from home, and if you can be more productive, there is flexible working, and in some cases it's appropriate, in some cases it's not. You can get a house for a song, and you can get a much larger house than your family, right? There needs to be a discussion of the reality as it relates to expenses and the possibilities. A lot of people think, yeah, if you're a young person, you say, well, hold on a second, if I work at this big company, and I live in New York City or Los Angeles, I am going to come out significantly further behind than my parents who did that. Sure, but you also have more ability to start a business than ever before, earn multiple sources of income, and live anywhere that you want. Right. You have the option to work for a big company and go through that route, or you have the option to, sink or swim based on your own merit, and if you're willing to bet on yourself. It's never been easier to start a business. There have never been more opportunities to start a business. That too can be addressed, or at least I should say, you can highlight that while also addressing the issue of automation, because that's an issue that concerns a lot of people. Not just AI, that's a separate step, but automation itself. The flip side of it is a lot of young people don't want to work the jobs that are being automated. When I was at CVS the other day, and I was just getting a greeting card, and I could not scan it, and there was no one there. I waited for 15 minutes just for someone to go, oh yeah, this machine doesn't work because the way they card does it. You have to let me go do it back. I was like, hold on a second. Do we not want anyone to work? You're giving me a job when I show up, and it doesn't work. It's less efficient.
It's tough to figure out what you're saying there, bud.
So yeah, I think maybe the right has done a poor job economically, and that's kind of where you have that space. Like you said, you don't get behind to 20.
No, but it's also an entitlement mentality too, right? So when our parents were kind of starting out in life, they started raising families pretty early, and a lot of times they did it from an apartment. They were doing, they had 2 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they were basically sacrificing so that later on they could have a home, maybe in a year or 2 years or something like that, they can save up. Now, when kids get out of college, they're like, well, I should have an iPhone, I should have 5 or 6 streaming subscriptions, I should have the latest technology, I should be able to go and buy a house wherever I want to buy a house, I should be able to drive a Tesla if I want to. It's like, well, your parents understood saving, your parents understood sacrificing now so that you can kind of build something in the long run. You don't. You just want to start out immediately at this level.
Well, they would argue, and they're not wrong, they would argue.
I'm heading to work.
Yeah, but student debt is out of control. We'll talk about it.
Heading to Monroe.
Going and getting a stupid use of that. Yeah, it's terrible loan.
I don't think that's the effective message. I think the effective message is
Heading north.
So many of your parents were well-known. So many of your parents were absolutely worked in factories that was not a very high-paying job. And then they told everyone that the secret to success is education, which you equated with higher education and any degree that you can imagine. Whereas today, if you want to do the exact job that your father did, let's say be a plumber, you can spend, adjusted for inflation, far less than they did on their education or during their formative years, and you can make far more. You can come out within 2-3 years and make $80,000 a year if you want to be a plumber. And it's really easy now to start your own plumbing business because it just steel?
Mostly steel.
Was it just steel? Because you corrected me.
I don't know.
I said metal, and you felt the need to chip in and say, Stephen, you're wrong. It's only steel. But could it be?
It's probable that it's something.
Yeah, could it be something else? Could it involve, I don't know.
I think it's another element.
Yeah.
Like what? Adamantium?
Bronze.
Yes, I'm not up to speed on metallurgical arts, but
Metallurgical?
metallurgy. I don't know. I only know that if I get a good blade
Maybe
steel,
it's
I might
steel. Can we
harder
do
to sharpen.
foundry? Can we do a foundry? Foundry
Is it just steel? Or
It's
is it
good
all
that you get some rain, though.
So you go if you want to get a free baby.
Yeah, no, that's quick trip.
Wow.
Yeah, my poor German Shepherds were big babies during the storm we had Sunday night.
A fire department, you can tell Dr. Baby off in quick trip. I can go get taquitos and a beer check.
Wow. Really? There's a written endorsement.
Yeah, it does have a safe space if you're being chased. Don't like a panic room, but they've qualified people there. They train them to address people who are going through a stressful, like a traumatic situation. Yeah, quick trip is a pretty.
Well, it's really interesting because that's where Joe Biden tends to hang out.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for kids
He
to
hangs
hang
out by the froyo machine. Get sprinkles. I like sprinkles. Put sprinkles on it. I said,
I'm familiar with cockroaches.
so what is the foundry? Did we find out?
Yeah, so foundry definition.
Like,
In simple terms, a foundry is a factory where castings are reduced by melting metal. Or
Ah,
to
ah,
a mold and allowing it to solidify.
See what I have to live with? They always want to look for a reason to correct me.
most foundries in people's minds were steel.
Yeah. Your mind.
No idea.
And I'm not going to lie to you. Neither did I.
Yeah. You said metal, though. and
I
that's
just
better.
know
You gave
it's-
yourself some room.
It's where they killed Terminator 2.
Yes.
True, yes.
Yeah, I melted in that vat.
And then they froze. Well, I mean, they both did. I know T2000.
T2000 went into that, too. Yeah.
They both would have
They
been
froze it before that.
You know what? That robot, the Arnold one,
T1000.
T1000, he sacrificed himself. So, that's why I'll never accept it. Well, people say that robots can't learn to love.
They gave a thumbs up at the end,
Yeah.
which was,
I've got some love in the vacuum.
Yes. That's how you identify as bone vacuum.
just imagine that correct scene.
I'll take a vacuum.
Yes.
I'll hold the vac.
Yes. Don't get us started on cartilage Dyson. That guy is just, you don't want to run into him. That mask.
That's a beyond. Is that a...
I was trying to think where I have the most vacuum.
You have to use one without bristles?
Yeah.
That's no fun. Come on.
I'm more of a Roomba guy because I like the chase.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll just be like that Indian guy with his penis wrapped around something.
I don't like Roomba because I can never find my spot.
Never knows where home is.
That's because your Roomba is a selfish lover.
It is. I bet you can't guess what color it is.
Well, what?
White.
Before or after? All right. Let's watch this and let's just have a good laugh before we go. We'll see you. Wait, let's see you Tuesday.
Weird.
It's always hard for me to keep track of the days. We will watch this and let's just all watch and laugh. Al Sharpton struggling with a teleprompter. We revisited probably every 6 months or so because it gives us another reason to keep going on. And let's see if it's as bad as Josh thought it was, and then we can so you can keep.
You don't
us
know
all
what
right
harp
here.
is?
We'll go out and see you tomorrow. Al Sharpton. Let's watch.
They're all jitty about a shutdown. The tortoise in the race, then co-author of Hubris. Lead singer Bono, Fran Drescher, Sigourney Weaver, Suspect, Jahar Sanayem, Rush Limbaugh, the show Rush Limbaugh, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, Mike Muckery yesterday, Antonin Scalia. Cairo and Benghazi. We rank behind Latvia, Kazakhstan to college students in Beijing. Getting lunch at AAA. State giveaway to millionaires. Yours, traffic problems, email sent. Environmental Projection Agency. And what sequestration has done.
bonus train. We got a train. Isn't that fucking awesome? Looks like it's moving slow too.
Central Dispatch for Channel 1 to me on scene, 3 North North Street.
Oh, it's over with. We got the end of the train.
Central Engine will be en route to Soundview.
There's some amazing people out there. We got a lot of knuckleheads in government, but the people
Yeah,
in
it's
the
a lot of
private
power,
sector
I
are
think it
pretty
takes.
amazing. NY Renal says Trump classified documents. What is this? Yeah, I think everybody saw that one, NY. Yeah, we're going to cover it on the show. Yeah, we're going to get to that later today. The Trump audio.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it's been all over
Fuck,
the place.
dude. It's fucking
This
pulling
is
into my
actually-
lane.
yeah,
Got
this is
that
the-
corner.
Yeah, I've got a whole, so let me give you a preview on what we've got coming up. Good to see you, NY. Thanks for, I didn't even mention it this morning, but yeah, we've got the whole thing coming up. Here is just a quick smattering of some of my notes. Defense theme, witness testimony.
Oh, really?
I want to know what document it is. I want to take a look at Judge Cannon's response, who's going to be sanctioned for the leaks. I've got some clips I've already pulled up. Yeah, a lot of questions about it. I want to know who recorded it. I want to know if it's authenticated. I want to know about jurisdiction. I've got a jurisdictional question. I think this was recorded in Bedminster, New Jersey, not Florida. So why is it even evidence in this case? Didn't even happen there. Didn't happen in Florida. So it didn't happen in the jurisdiction of Florida. So why is it being charged there? Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Anyways, so lots of questions on that. But thanks for flagging that for us, NY. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. It's the only thing everybody's talking about right now. So like on Drudge. Oh, actually, no. They moved past that already. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, let's see what CNN has. Hey, that's the story we just covered. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, it didn't. Yeah, it
Morning,
wouldn't have
Oklahoma.
changed how everything is carried out, but it didn't. It didn't. So.
I'm gonna set up a
They don't
desktop
have
stream once I
anything on
get
this-
going
this
at work.
tape here. That's pretty interesting.
Gonna be a busy day, I'm hoping.
Why did that get nuked off this homepage?
Bugs, man.
That's kind of strange. I was not expecting that. The High Court, you've got one link here, George Conway. Let's see what the New York Times has. Yeah, they're not hammering the Trump audio either. I mean, it literally just dropped yesterday. There it is. Weird. Yeah, maybe this is not a good take for them. Maybe they're like, you know, in the audio, Trump is blasting Hillary. He's like blasting Hillary and Weiner and Milley, and he's like defending himself. So I'm still surprised, honestly. Like that just dropped yesterday after the show. And yeah, I know the Supreme Court's big news, but I mean not that big. Like nothing changed. They reject the theory that would have meant radical changes. Okay, but they didn't. So then it's Putin. Then it's Ireland. Man, they dropped this story. Am I going crazy? Weird. Weird. Well,
They think it must benefit them. That's why they're not.
it was all over the place yesterday. I mean, it was like all over Twitter, all over the media. It all got dumped by the Supreme Court news. Wasn't really expecting that. But curious. Very curious indeed. Voice says the audio is nothing new. They were talking about it weeks ago. Well, yeah, I mean, we had the
Transcript.
we had the indictment, so we knew the transcript that was alleged in the indictment, but we didn't know about the audio. Well, I got the audio. We're going to play it. NY says, I think it sort of exonerates him. Yeah, so Dan is here. Crash Bandit's here. Yeah, so let's go to this other story, because CISA is now censoring all of us in collusion with the big tech companies, which we already basically knew, but now it's in record by the Judiciary Committee. Here is what they tell us. The weaponization of CISA, government agencies, the cybersecurity agency that's supposed to protect us from disinformation, was actually working with big tech to censor us, to silence us, to step all over our civil rights and our First Amendment freedom of speech. This report comes out from the Judiciary Committee and the Weapons Committee out of the United States House of Representatives, saying that CISA, the agency, so-called cybersecurity in quotes, colluded with big tech and disinformation partners, third parties,
All right, y'all.
to censor Americans. Now, we knew this was
Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm going to start a desktop stream probably. We'll see, as long as I'm not getting hammered too bad today.
This was written June 26th. And
We'll see.
it is 30
Thanks for
seconds
coming in, though,
but a lot
Oklahoma.
of it
Chopper,
is stuff
Dirty.
we can fast forward through. Here
Claiborne's
is a
already
nice
left.
note to start us off with
Not a mouse.
from Jen Easterly, CISA Director, November 10, 2021.
Talk to you guys later.
One could argue